The episode as a whole, meanwhile, suggests that Sophie demanding a larger point for Twilight Zone, even if that was one Serling's reasons for creating the show in the first place, may be a way of distancing herself from the raw emotions of fear and uncertainty. She says that when she was a kid watching the series, she always wondered when we were going to get to the Twilight Zone, confessing that she always read the show's concept literally. From childhood to now, Sophie doesn't seem to be much of a fan of ambiguity. After that opening argument, Blurryman seemingly changes focus, no pun intended, becoming about a glitch that a production assistant has spotted in every episode of the show's first season. It seems that there's been a blurry figure popping up in the background of multiple scenes. And now that same figure seems to be chasing after Sophie. She walks through empty sets, becoming increasingly paranoid. I'm sure I want the only who guessed who/what that figure was going to turn out to be. In the final scene, after being haunted by memories of her childhood Twilight Zone fandom, and after being stalked by images from this current season, Sophie meets the Blurryman, and it's Rod Serling. Of course it is. This may be an obvious metaphor, but it's a meaningful one. What haunts the new Twilight Zone writers? What shapeless figure is lurking in the background of every episode? It's gotta be Serling. What I most liked about Blurryman though isn't where it ends, but how it gets there. Long stretches of this episode are just scenes of the always excellent Zazie Beetz becoming increasingly freaked out by all manner of unexplained phenomenon. When this Twilight Zone returns for its next season, I'd love to see more of this kind of thing, alongside the social commentary that's also always been a part of this show. Because I think Peel, or at least the fictional version, is right here. Sometimes you just have to let the nightmare in, and let it do its work. Stray observations. Although young Sophie is seen watching Time Enough at Last, the old Twilight Zone episode I thought of most often while watching Blurryman was A Stop at Willoughby, which is about disappearing into a utopian past that's like something out of a TV show or movie. There's a real resonance to the idea that Sophie just wants to live inside of a classic Twilight Zone. The debate between Sophie and JP about the value of the purely terrifying campfire story also reminded me of a recent documentary I watched about the legacy of the controversial children's book series Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.